the continuity of this function, and then we have to evaluate the limit. Okay, so first we have to basically write the continuity of the function, and then we have to evaluate the limit. Okay, so for the continuity, you guys know that the cosine of x, the continuity of this one is basically real numbers, right? But here we do not have the cosine of x. We have here in the denominator we have cosine x negative 1, right? And we have to determine the continuity of this one. So for this we have to figure out the domain for this one. So we make it equals to 0, so then we get cosine of x is equals to 1. Okay, so then we have to figure out for what values of x is the function equals to 1. Okay, for that you have to basically draw the cosine function. So here I have taken this from the internet, so I think the website was Greek for Greeks, so I took it from there. And here, as you can see here, the points for where the cosine function is equals to 1 is gonna be 0, 2 pi, and then it's gonna continue, right? Because the function is gonna continue, so then you'll have 4 pi over here, and it's gonna continue so on, right? So here your values would be basically 0, and then you'll have plus and minus, because it's the same thing with the negative value, right? So here negative 2 pi, and you have negative 4 pi, so then you can say plus and minus 2 pi, and then plus and minus 4 pi, and then you'll have, then it's gonna continue, right? 6 pi. So you can basically go ahead and write x equals to 2 pi n for integer n. So this is basically the continuity for this question. And now let's go ahead and evaluate the limit itself. So the limit itself would be so we have limit as x approaches 0 of cosine squared of x minus 1, and we have cosine of x minus 1. And again here this is difference of square, right? So difference of square is basically like a minus b, a plus b is equals to a squared minus b squared. Okay, so you have this, so you're basically going to replace this with this. Okay, so if we go ahead and replace this with this one, so then we get cosine of x minus 1, and then we get cosine of x plus 1. Okay, and then at the denominator we have x minus 1, and we can go ahead and cancel out the like term. So here the only thing that we are left with is cosine of x plus 1. So now we can go ahead and put this in. So we get cosine of 0 plus 1. Cosine of 0, that's a 1. So 1 plus 1 equals to 2. So your limit value is equals to 2, but your answer for the continuity is this one.
Okay, so let's try to solve this one. So we have here is ln x plus sine of x, and then we have a fourth root of this question. Alright, so for this one, first of all, we're gonna break the continuity for each of the functions. So for sine of x, you guys already know that it exists everywhere, right? So the function kind of look like this, and it's basically continuous everywhere. So, and here for ln of x, the function for ln of x basically looks something like this, right? So like it's never touching 0, it's like an asymptote at 0, and then it's moving forward. So then this function is continuous from like 0, but then 0 is not included, right? So excluding 0, and then from until the infinity. Okay, and then we can go ahead and say fourth root of x, square root of x. So square root of x is basically like this, right? So square root of x basically exists from 0 to positive infinity, from 0 to positive infinity. Okay, and here the 0 is included. Okay, and then we have is fourth root of ln of x. Okay, so then if we go ahead and do the fourth root of ln of x, for this one we basically have to do because you want to find the domain, right? And to find the domain for square root, you basically put it equal to, greater than equal to 0, right? So you're going to basically do like this, ln of x and greater than equal to 0. So then the square root is going to cancel out, and you're only left with ln of x greater than equals to 0. And to cancel out the ln, you do the e, right? Okay, so then e and ln, they cancel out each other, and here you're only left with x is greater than equal to e to the power of 0, and anything to the power of 0 is equals to 1. You already know that, so x is greater than equal to 1. So you get this for this one. So then your interval for the continuity for this one is basically going to be from 1 to positive infinity, because you have like everything until like 1 is included, but after 1 like greater than equal to 1. Okay, so then this is your interval for the continuity. So now you basically have to like merge all these together. So if you go ahead and look closely, like here you had real numbers 0 to infinity, 0 to infinity, and here 1 to infinity. So you basically like have like 0 to infinity, and then you have like 1 to infinity. So if you want to like find the like middle ground for all of them, so it would basically be 1 to infinity, right? Because it's like after everything, because like you know the part for 0 to infinity, it's gonna get cut by this one, so you're only left with 1 to infinity. So this function is basically continuous over this interval 1 to infinity. Okay, so this is the interval for the continuity. Now let's try to solve the limit for this one. So if we go ahead and try to solve the limit for this one, so what we get is ln of x plus sine of x. Okay, so if you go ahead and plug in simply, you know, so you basically get like 0, and then you get a square root of that, so which is basically a danger. So you basically have to take the limit from both sides. Okay, so then you have to do limit as x approaches 1 from the left. Okay, so if you go ahead and take the limit from the left, okay, so if you try to do that, okay, so first if we go ahead and plug this 1 from the left, okay, so 1 from the left, and ln of x, you know, for the ln of x, it's gonna be 0 from the left, right? So, and 0 from the left means like a negative number, and here it's basically like sine of 1. If you go ahead and do that, so that's like 0.8 something, but then here you have 0 from the left, so like a negative number, right? So then if you go ahead and fourth root of a negative number, and like if you go ahead and perform a square root of a negative number, that does not exist, right? And since you get an doesn't exist for this one from the left, so that means the limit doesn't exist at all. So that's pretty much the answer to this question, and we'll go ahead and move on to intermediate value theorem for the next one. So check out the playlist for that. Thanks for watching.